Do you have life insurance? Is it supplied by Prudential, Allstate, State Farm, or whoever? Yes, isn't that the wise thing to do? Buy life insurance? But you're going to die anyway, right? So what is life insurance anyway? Death insurance? But what if you knew that real life insurance is purchased by surrendering your life? What if you knew that one must surrender all and die to have eternal life? Sounds contradictory, right? Maybe we do not know or understand what surrender truly means. Join us as we delve deeper into the issues of life eternal and surrender by asking, who or what am I? Who am I?
Who am I?
Who? Our purpose is to awaken.
Who am I?
To awaken to absolute truth.
Am I?
Who am I?
Who?
Who?
Our purpose is to awaken to absolute truth.
Absolute.
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 Absolute truth.
Our purpose is to awaken. Are they one and the same? Absolute truth. That's our purpose.
Who am I?
Okay, last time we were getting into this thing called I give up, surrender, okay? And we were trying to look and see, is there anything to give up? All right. Now, see, you have to look at something. This is where we were ending last time. What is it that, you think is so important? All right. There's something that you are attached to, that you have defined. Either you defined it consciously, like your car, if it's a Cadillac, and you go out and buy a car and you say, this is my Cadillac, or this is my Lexus, or whatever, and you consciously chose that. Or is it something that is unconscious, okay, that you're not aware of, that is running your life? I often tell my patients, what is running your life? R-U-N-N-I-N-G, and what is running your life is R-U-I-N-I-N-G, is running your life, okay? A little play on words there, okay? But I mean, there's something that, why are you here? Okay? Why is it that think I'm separate from God? Why do I want to continue that? Why do I want to think that God is... See, it's one of the questions I want to ask is, I used to ask myself, why doesn't God get rid of the devil? Okay, I mean, he's God. It's like, I'm God. Devil, why don't you get rid of it? Does God need the devil? Does God need evil? Why don't he just surrender it, get rid of it? Maybe I ask, if you took the devil out of the Bible, what would you get? Probably a little thin book, okay? Very, very thin, all right? Can religions, are they willing to give up the belief in evil? Can that, ask your pastor out there, will he be willing to say that God knows no opposite, that there is no evil? Now, we can ask that, but I'm asking you as a person.
Well, there's no devil either.
Well, but we think that there's something called this, Gloria. We think that there's something called the opposite.
Well, you may, but I don't.
Then why are you talking? See, you're talking to something that is not you. Okay?
I am that I am.
I know.
don't know about you.
But see, whenever you open your mouth, whenever you speak, this is what, look at the word communication. It comes from the word ko. Ko means two. All right? So whenever you communicate, you are saying that there's something called a not you.
That's right.
All right? Because God is total silence. Total silence, stillness. All right? That which cannot move. All right? But we can't have that. We say, God speaks to me, or the word of God. Because we think that there's a me and a you. We get caught in this I-you paradigm. there's a me, and there's something called a not me. All right? In other words, I'm limited, and that which is not me is limited. Glory.
So in the last discussion, we had the line drawn there
Uh-huh.
on God's identity, and that line representing our seeming separation, but there really is no separation. And you said that we need to start with God's identity.
Uh-huh.
And when you start with God's identity, there's nothing else.
Yeah. But
When
see,
you
this
start
is,
with light, there can be no darkness.
yes. But Alan has to do this. Alan has to think. All right? And once I think, then I will have limitation. I have concepts. I have thoughts, okay, which are limited. And then the first thought that I will have is, I am what? A human. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you think is, I'm in bed. I got to go to work. Oh, dog. I got the bills. Oh my God, whatever. Okay. This little I that is identified as a personal identity. Okay. Which says I'm separate from your bed. You think that you are in a bed. All right, when you wake up, I assume, I hope it's not a park bench or whatever. But okay, that you are separate from a bed. That you identify totally with this skin bag you call a body. All right? And that it's a form. So you have to identify with forms. Well, what's the formless? You can't think of it.
That's God's identity.
Yeah, that's God's identity. And that's why when Jesus said, my thoughts are not your thoughts, all right? He was saying human thinking cannot enter this.
Well, that's all.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So we can't conceive of it,
Right.
but you can't say you don't see it.
Yes, you can.
What?
Your senses. If you, are you talking about seeing, like, I see you sitting in a chair?
Well, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is very important. We rely upon five senses. Science rely. You know, you were majoring at Morehouse. You know, you remember McBay? Anyway, science says that it's observable data for whom. Or Einstein said that everything's relative, but he said what? There's got to be an absolute. And he didn't know what it was, but Einstein was caught up in thinking he was Einstein. You are caught up in thinking that you think. Thinking creates this. And once you think, then yes, you can't enter all.
But it all just is.
Yes, but you don't know what it is.
No.
Because you think your senses will tell you what it is.
No, it just all is.
Because you think.
I mean, what is infinity? Well, that's which
You
is
don't know.
But we call infinity all.
Yeah, you can say-
we've interchanged that
Yeah.
as being all. So it's just all,
Yes.
and that's the only place you can go with it.
That's why that's why the Hindus said, about truth or all, because all is true.
All is
He who knows doesn't speak, and he who speaks doesn't know. You can't speak what infinity is.
No.
Okay? You can
speak
just
what
say
God
it.
is.
The best you can say is, the most truthful thing you can say is,
I don't.
I am. That's the most truthful thing you can say, I am.
all is.
All is, but you don't know what all is.
You talked about humans thinking. Where does the thinking arise from?
Okay, yeah, that's the ultimate conundrum. Okay, how does something which is totally denial of all, okay, because that's what human thinking is. It's a denial of all. How did God stop being God? Or how did all stop being all?
It never stops.
Right. So how can it create something that is unlike it? Your mother and father, created you. Okay, and you say you are not your mother and father, even though you may be like them, but in many ways you are not like them. They created something called not themselves. Can all create something called not itself? No. Now in the Bible it says, we are created in God's image. That's somewhere in the Bible, right? Now, how can that be? How can all create something, an image of itself? That means it's a counterfeiter. Okay, that's what an image is. It ain't the real thing. All right? It ain't the real thing. So that's just something humans think to justify. Humans always have to justify being human. That's why we create a God who is very human-like.
Yeah.
You know, he gets mad and, you know, he walks and talks and, you know, just like all humans do.
He's the father.
And he's a father, you know, he's a big daddy. All right? Or whatever, okay? But I can understand a big daddy because I had a daddy, right, John? Robert Carter. Okay, so I can understand a father figure.
He's the
Okay.
the big Don.
You know, Godfather or whatever. But that, you know, see, this is the question. This is a very important question, Lydia, that you're asking. Because this is where we get, you know, it really, this is where you got to lose your mind. Okay? Here's a psychologist saying lose your mind. All right?
Share the business.
But, you know, in other words, the mind that tells you this mind that thinks, okay, and thinks that this is real. You think that you're Lydia sitting in a chair in Atlanta, Georgia. And if you didn't think that, we would call you crazy, right? They've got people out there in Georgia Regional, you know, they give you a lot of pills and stuff, okay? But that is based on your identity as a human, okay? And that you're going to preserve, and that is where you start from. And as Glory was saying, can you start with that you are not Lydia, but that you are God? But not like, you know, Hitler and all of them thought that they were God, Napoleon and Caesar and all of them. But you got to give up thinking. Did Jesus give up thinking when he was on the cross? Well, we don't really know what he did. You know, if he said, my father, why hast thou forsaken me? He was thinking that was a God and a Jesus. And that this God was not all. I can understand that. Because I can feel like when people abandon me or leave me or desert me or whatever. Okay? I can understand that feeling. Okay, I saw somebody saying. Yeah, Gloria.
Well, another thing that the Aramaic interpretation of what Jesus said when he was on the cross was, for this purpose am I here. And even that is the same thing that he's saying, there was a purpose for me to come in this form.
Yeah. See, again, thinking involves time. Okay? If I think, I have to think in a time context. Okay, I was born. Or in the Bible, in the beginning. Because I think, and like for instance, I can think about a piece of chalk. The only way I can know that this is a piece of chalk is I have to go into my memory. A memory is time-based. It's based in the time, in the past, excuse me. Okay, and so I think that there's a past. That I grew up in Normal, Alabama. You know, that I was born, 32 years ago, right, John? Why you laugh? But anyway, that I can, and I can think about the future, what I'm going to eat tonight or whatever, okay? But I'm always thinking in a time context. Stephen Hawking just died last week, and he was trying to get in a black hole. There's no time. But, what's that? That's why it's called a black hole, because they can't explain it, okay? And because you go to the event horizon and time, and, all the laws of physics break down, okay? What was before Big Bang? Stephen Hawking's? Well, I mean, they got even some theories to suppose it. They said something that was so infinitesimal small. But again, that gives you the image that it has boundary. It's a form. You can't think without form. All right? Time and space. Glory.
So, what is the opposite of resistance? As a human identity, Gloria operates in resisting giving up that human identity, resisting giving up my personal identity.
Mm-hmm.
So, is surrender the opposite of?
Well, I would say acceptance. Okay, ACCEPTANCES.
So surrender and acceptance are not synonymous?
They are opposites. But once you get clear that there are no opposites, then it's nothing but the same.
Okay.
Now, it's interesting about resistance. Okay, the Sanskrit word for Satan
Is resist-
is resistance. Okay, in other words, there's something resisting all,
Right.
and that is Satan or the human mind, the thinking mind. All right, so they were looking at what is Satan. It is that which is has a counterforce. You know, in physics ball, right? There's force, counterforce. Okay, there appears to be this and something that is resisting it. That I can't just have something without any resistance. There has to be something that's going counter to it. Okay, in opposition. We are in March Madness now. University of Michigan State lost, okay, over the weekend. Okay, who else? Virginia lost and so forth, okay? But we love that because it's showing, we call it competition, but it's about resistance. It's opposites. Yeah.
So if resistance is another word for Satan, and surrender, to me, it's like when I hear surrender, it's like I have to give up something. And so I'm going to naturally resist giving up something. And usually the giving up something is something I don't want to give up. So I'm resisting. But if I look at resisting is another word for the devil, Satan, darkness, then it's like surrender doesn't carry that tone of, I don't want to. It would be, wow, it's an opportunity
Is a give in.
to give up this Satan dark thinking.
Yeah, John.
Surrender is, and when you describing it just as you did just now, there's a surreal aspect to it, a surreal aspect to it, and it's sort of like good.
Yeah.
You're doing something that's
Freeing you.
and it's for the greater good or
Yeah.
something of
Yes.
that sort.
Really.
Instead of losing
Yeah.
something.
Like hearing these two speak, it sounds as if surrender is and acceptance is just this.
Yeah, sort of a being.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
There's a doing in,
yeah.
in surrender.
Is that a control issue?
What you mean?
If it's just, and then it's like
Resisting.
resistance.
Yeah. It appears that I can make a decision to surrender or to resist, and everything up here on this earth that I think I have some power to choose. Notice the key word there is power. Okay.
That's control.
Yeah, control. Okay. But what happened to omnipotence? If I have some power, what happened to all power?
Went out.
Okay. See, surrender is really a process. Okay. It is a process, like you say, of maybe doing. All right. And there's an I that appears who can do something. I can give up. All right. That I had this, whatever it is, and now I'm the process of relieving myself of it. But again, when you bring it back to what is absolute true, can God surrender? Can all give up? No, because then it wouldn't be all.
All is.
All is. That's just absolute.
Could you comment on this? Surrender is what is here in the absence of resistance to what is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the absence of the resistance to what is. Yeah, that's what surrender is. But it still isn't it though.
Yeah, it still isn't it.
Yeah.
But all
'cause
those words up there isn't it either.
nothing is.
All those words are just pointing to God's identity, and those are just words too.
Yeah, because, again, Alan mind, or Gloria mind, or Joan mind, or Jesus mind, or whoever, any human mind cannot know this, as we were saying to Archibald, a few minutes ago. That whatever what all Jesus or Buddha or whoever, any what we might call enlightened being, they were not speaking truth. Okay? They were trying, to point to something and they were assuming that there was a you who could, see what they were pointing to. In other words, there was something called not them. Now, God couldn't do that, okay? But they, obviously, we're saying Jesus or Buddha, we could say, is definitely a higher state of enlightenment, let's say, than Hitler or somebody like that, okay? I don't think we'll have much argument there. And so we were saying that they were trying to say, there's something that you're not seeing. All right, you're caught in your human thinking and your human belief machine. And you don't see how you're trapped in it, but you really are trapped. You're free, but you are accepting these beliefs as true. The belief that you are human. I'm trying to tell you who you are. Who you are, you can call it Christ, you can call it Buddha, you can call it whatever you want to. That who I am is not Alan Carter. Jesus was saying, I'm not the son of Mary and Joseph. Okay? Who I am is beyond all of this. Now, that is not only for Jesus. If it's true of Jesus, it better be true of you, and you. Because if if it was just exclusive for Jesus, then I'm sorry. Jesus did not know or couldn't understand this conversation we're having right now. Okay? And I think he would. He was not a man who was trying to preserve the Jesus identity, just like Alan Carter is dedicated to trying to preserve the Allen identity. Like, Archibald better not say anything bad about me, because, we get our own ball, because I'm going to preserve what I think is important to me, okay? And this is why, when you're in relationship, it's very important to know that your enemy is your lover, okay? The devil is God's greatest lover.
Because one is not the other. No need for the other.
Right. If you all see, if there's something, if God knew that the devil is just part of him because God is all, then God would say, well, yes, the devil is me.
So all meaning all includes everything.
Everything.
There's nothing excluded. So in a relationship, you include everything about that appearing of the other.
Yes.
You include all of that.
Yes. Yeah, like biologically, I have, estrogens within me. I have female stuff within me. All right, and every female has androgens, right, Paul? So it's like you when you realize, yes, I identify as a male, okay, and I go to the men's bathroom, okay, thank God, all right, but otherwise I have problems. Okay?
No problem.
Yeah, well, the point though is you don't want to exclude anything. That's why that person who gives you the most trouble, or who makes you confront stuff that you don't want to see, that person is bringing you a gift.
And when you're resisting, you can't see that.
That's right, because I'm defending what I think is
So
important.
you're really resisting seeing all of you.
Yes, all right? I'm resisting seeing my femaleness, all right? I'm resisting Donald Trump.
So what would that look like if you gave up resisting Donald Trump?
Then I will be bigger than what I think I am.
Well,
See,
can you handle that?
Yeah, well, if I'm committed to what I say I am, yes. Now this doesn't mean that, if I'm in Germany in 1945, 42 or whatever, that I would want to embrace Hitler. Joan and I grew up in Alabama during Jim Crow days, that we were, basic. But I would see that everything is just a projection of me.
Yeah.
Okay? That it's kind of, you got to get this. When you go to bed at night, you can dream about a nightmare. The monster is attacking you. All right? And you think you are being victimized by a monster. Right. No, you're not. That's just a dream. The you in that dream is not you. But you can't tell yourself that when you're in the dream. Mm-hmm. All right? Because you're running from the monster. Or if you're making love to Beyonce in the dream. Or whatever. You call that a good dream. Or the monster chasing you, call it a bad dream. But regardless, it's not you. You're lying in bed projecting those images. And it looks like there's space, but it ain't. It looks like it's occurring in some kind of framework. You know, the monster's chasing you down the street or in the forest or whatever. All of those are just projected images coming out of your mind, making you think that this is real. And the you that's in the dream is real. But when you wake up, what happens to the monster? What happens to the you in the dream? That's all this is. That's why, you know, we were talking about, you know, you're going into all, that's why we resist, because we think this is real. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a dream.
So bottom line, it's like you brought up the topic of surrender.
Yeah.
So what do you want to get out of that topic?
I want to get this whole show is me trying to surrender. By the way, we finished in 7 years now. I still ain't, because I'm still preserving Alan. This thing called Alan, you know, this desire to think that I'm Alan Carter, son of Robin Ruth Carter, sister named Joan, brother named Bobby, a sister named Cecilia. You know, it's like that seems real. I want to get out of. And really, it's not getting out of. The Eastern people call it nirvana. Christians would call it, you know, paradise or heaven, like it's a place. It is just an awakening, just like we say in the intro, to awaken to absolute truth, and absolute truth is who and what I am. Okay? That's all Jesus was doing on the cross, awakening to his true identity. He wasn't dying for my sins. He was awakening. That's why I say you are here to the same thing. All right? That's why, you know, probably, you know, in the Eastern people, now this is just made up something in a time dimension, that all of us were together, maybe around, we were sitting down on the Sermon on the Mountain, we would just go, hey, what's that man saying? You know, we didn't get it then. Maybe we can get it now, you know, or whatever. I just made that up, y'all. That ain't no truth to that. But the point is, there's something there where you're curious to ask questions that most people don't ask. And I'll say that also about you out there in the TV land, that you're asking and willing to ask those questions that most people, so that you can find out what is true and what is real. And that which is true and that which is real is your identity as love. Not like Smokey Robinson says, but the love, as Jesus described it, is the peace that passes understanding, that your thinking mind can't get it. So thank you for being willing to go into this journey and keep asking questions. Keep willing to look at who am I.